Good morning, dear student. Today we are going to discuss another topic, that is validity. Reliability we have discussed in previous lecture. What is validity? To understand the validity, we should get one example, like what is the valid instrument to write on your whiteboard? Then chalk is obviously not valid instrument. Marker will be valid instrument, but permanent marker will also not valid instrument. Then we can say a marker which can be rubbed and useful for the valid instrument for writing on whiteboard. Like that in research also. In research, questionnaire is the instrument by which we can analyze and measure the validity of your answers, whatever you want to get. Whatever a researcher wants to get and measure, their result is valid or not valid. It depends upon the whatever the questions they have constructed in their research questionnaire. And what in social science, because there is not limit, there is no limit to answering about the any particular questions of researcher. Then a researcher use the scales which we have discussed in previous lectures. The number of scales are available, like paired scales, non-paired scales. So then what type of these scales we can use here and in the questionnaire, and that questionnaire will be the instrument to analyze or to measure the validity of any scales or instruments. Now we should go to the next slide and then we'll see how to develop the development of the multiple scales. First, we'll develop the theory. As we know, in previous lectures also we have discussed, theory should be maybe natural based or maybe. If you are going to make any research, it should be based on any theory. Means you are developing a concept. You will develop a concept on that particular and that concept should be based on your previous researches and theories. And on that basis, we'll develop the initial pool of items. What is items? First we'll discuss about. What is items? Items an individual article or unit, especially one that is the part of the list, collection or set. Suppose we are going to analyze the services of the bank. Then what we will do, we'll get some factors or items which will be based for the by which we can analyze the services of the bank, like reliable services, like assurance, like tangibility, like empathy, like responsiveness. So then these things should be constructed in a way that should provide knowledge about the and what we want to get, services of the banks. Like reliability. Reliability means which their records are reliable or not. They are providing accurate bills. These things should be reliability will be assessed by the such type of the questions will asked by the respondent. Then assurance means inspiring trust, confidence in their customers. The banks is providing such type of assurance, and they are committing or they are providing also. Whatever the assurance they are giving, and they are providing such type of the facilities also, and committing such type of the facilities also. So then it will be, you can ask such type of the question to know about the assurance of the bank. Then tangibility means whatever their facilities like ATM cards, credit cards. These things are the providing on the basis of that you can get the easy services, and they can make their digitalized and present market scenarios servicing they are providing. So then such type of the things are they are providing or not providing, and banks are now using whatever the technologies are going on in present scenario. Then what technologies the banks are providing. And empathy means understanding their stakeholders' needs and services, timely communication. These things they are providing or not providing. These things, by on the basis of that particular part, you can get the responsiveness. Responsiveness means they are answering their questions, whatever their customer services, how much accurate, how much reliable. These things are by which way we can first develop the item, then variables, then construct these things. Now again, coming to the previous slide, development of the multiple scale. You have option to develop your theory. Theory means your idea. Idea on previous research is based. This previous theory is based. Like you are going to make your research comparison with the private bank with government bank. Services of private bank and government bank. You are going to compare. What you will do right now, you will go for the review literatures and you will collect the data from, it may be by review of literature, secondary data, and you will generate initial pool of items. Then third part, select a reduced set of items based on the qualitative judgment. Fourth part, collect the data from a large pretest sample. Then you will collect a large number of the same data and you will make statistical analysis, develop purified scale. Again, you will go for the purified scale. You will develop there and collect more data from different samples. If you have require more data, then you will go for the different samples also and evaluate scale reliability, validity and generalizability, and then you will develop the final scale. Why I am discussing this particular topic? Because whatever the items you have generated, if you will collect and go to review of literature, you will get a lot of the items. You will get a lot of items, and that item you should reduce, which is required more useful and reliable for you. Then you will keep that type of the items. Other items you will delete, obsolete from your this particular research part. So then whatever the major items is required, you will collect that and keep yourself with, and then you will proceed for the research. And then we'll go for the develop the scale for that. Developing the scale for the scale development, and will then again check the reliability and validity of that scales. And then finally we'll decide the scale. What scale development? Scale development, it is a process of representing the range of the possible response to a question about the particular construct. It is a process of representing range of possible responses to a questions about a particular construct. The goal of this scale development is to precisely quantify what is to be measured. Previous lectures we have discussed about the paired and non-paired scale. It may be whatever the scales, paired scale, rating scale, whatever the Likert scale, semantic scale, staple scale, whatever the number of scales we have, then which type of scaling will be where it will be suitable and what particular range it should be. We will decide here. A scale is the combined set of points that anchor the measurement of truth. Now we can say a scale is combined set of points that anchor the measurement truth. We can say right now, after this conclusion, a scale can be support to measure whatever researcher want to be measured. Suppose he want to use Likert scale, 5-point scale. Then 5-point scale, Likert scale is using, and that scale is not enough. 5-point scale is not enough. Then he can make their research based on 7-point scale, or 9-point scale, or 11-point scale. What will be more suitable to get result, whatever result? Because what happens many times, suppose we are asking about the awareness of any accident. Then whatever the witnesses were there, they would say, we are aware about that. But it may be awareness can be from every in what particular extent, in what particular degree of awareness. Suppose who at particular time when accident was happened, he was present at there. But a person who were not present at that time, but he was heard about any other person, so then he is also aware. But who was present at their degree will be different. So then scales may be different in particular studies. So then where 5-point scale is enough, then we'll use 5-point scale. But if you want to get more specific results, then it maybe we can use 7-point scale, maybe 9-point scale. Then a scale is combined set of points that anchor the measurement tools. Measurement tools means it is support. It is support to the research. The scale development we have discussed about the items. Items we will discuss in next slide. The variable construct. Item, an individual article or unit, especially one that is part of the list, collection or set. It may be items which we are going to make our research, on which particular basis we are going to make our research. Variable which can be varied, which will be varied. It is any characteristics, number of the quantity that can be measured or counted. A variable may also be called a data items, age, sex, business, income. That variables will be like that. Suppose we are going to study about the bank services, then what are the major items will be? What items you are going to collect? Maybe ambience, maybe trustworthiness, maybe knowledge of the employees, maybe punctuality and accuracy, maybe helping of employees and subordinate staff, and sincerity of the staff. These number of things may be items, and these particular items will be divided in other part that may be variables. That will be variables like trustworthy. Trustworthy will depend upon the reliability of that particular bank's records, sincerity of their employees, then honesty of their employees. Then there will be number of other variables which will based on the particular item. Item is trustworthy. Knowledgeability of the employees. Knowledgeability of the employees will be assessed by number of other variables. Other variables will be like your knowledge about the present scenario, like whatever the technologies are going to change, whatever the technologies are running and whatever technologies are going to change, and present computerized knowledge or digitalized knowledge or e-commerce knowledge. Then he will be knowledgeable employee, that employee will be give better information to their client or respondent or their customers. So these will be variables and construct an idea or theory containing various conceptual elements, typically one considered to subjective and not based on the empirical evidence. Constructs mean an idea or theory containing various conceptual elements, typically one considered to be subjective and not based on empirical evidence. How you are making construct, whatever the idea you have. Suppose you are going to study about the bank services, then this is your idea. What type of the construct you are going to develop. Construct means what number of items you have, number of variables you have, how you will manage these variables and which particular sequence and which particular criteria in which particular, that should be give your best construct about the knowledge, about the analysis of your study, how you are going to construct. This is another example given by the Parasuraman and Jetimal in 1988, service quality based, how service sectors can be get this using such type of the theories, such type of the instrument. So here we have used like initial dimensions 10, initial item generation 97, final dimension 5, number of items 22. Like this, here we have reduced 10 items to 5 items because then these 5 items were not useful in the study. So then whatever the data you will, whatever the items you are going to collect, it may be by your, this is like this from previous studies circle method given by Parasuraman and Jetimal. So then we can now, this is the one option, you can get this type of the study, support of the study, and item you can collect, and these items you can reduce. Whatever items you have required, you will keep with you. Other items you will reduce, which is not useful for your study. This is the way you can do these things. Now, another important part in this particular topic, what we are going to study about, scale evolution, validity. In this particular part, we are going to study about validity, content, creation, construct. Validity will be divided in 3 parts: content, creation, and construct. Construct will again divide in convergent, discriminant, and nomological. Now we will come on the next part. What is validity? The validity of a scale may be defined at the extent to which differences in the observed scores reflect true differences among the object on characteristics being measured, rather than systematic or random error. Perfectly validity requires that there be no measurement error. X0 is equal to no error. Then the validity of a scale may be defined at the extent to which differences in the observed scale score reflects true differences among the objects on the characteristics being measured. Mainly validity, what in this particular definition, validity of a scale may be defined as the extent, this particular limit to which differences is observed scale scores reflect true differences among the objects on the characteristic is being measured. Validity means whatever a researcher want to measure and use the scale, that particular extent which a researcher want to measure is getting such result or not. This is the main concept about the validity. Here whatever the systematic error or random errors or any other noise noise should not be considered in this particular validity part. Any noise means any other variables which impact on your research will not consider. It should be completely perfect validity required that there be no any measurement error. Okay, so this is your validity, and now come to next slide. Construct validity. A construct validity now. Construct validity is divided into the three parts. That is your. We'll discuss it later on in next slide. What is construct validity? A construct validity is hypothetical variables comprises of a set of component responses or behaviors that are thought to be related. A hypothetical variables, whatever we have assumed, comprised of a set component responses or behaviors that are thought to be related. Whatever suppose we are going to study about the satisfaction of any employee, job satisfaction of employee. In job satisfaction, we will assume that what are the major construct will be by which a satisfaction will be constructed of any employee. Like he is getting salary on time, his salary is whatever he is deserving, he is getting that amount of the salary or not. He is getting such environment, which environment he requires. His relationship with the employees or boss is good or not. Then whatever the satisfactory construction is required, satisfactory, which particular you have assumed or hypothesized about the satisfaction, what were the items is required to make satisfaction of employee. That we consider here. The construct development, the integrative process of identifying the subjective properties of a variable, and the goal of the construct development is to precisely identify and define what to be measured. The goal of the construct development is to precisely identify and define what is to be measured. Mainly precisely what is the main concern about the construct of a construction of any particular idea or a hypothesized variable. That is the major concern, is to precisely identify and define what is to be measured. So we are going for the what is to be measured, that particular things we are going to make our hypothesized construct. That things which a researcher want to get, he is getting such result or not, it is the most important. If he is getting, then this instrument is valid. Otherwise, this instrument is not valid. Otherwise, you are writing on your board by white chalk. It is not valid instrument. In this slide, we are going to discuss about the assessing construct validity. Mainly, construct validity, how many types of the construct validity? First one is content validity, second one is convergent validity, third one is discriminant validity, and fourth one is nomological validity. What is content validity? Like movies and drama, content writers write the content, and in research, what are the major measurable components? We'll discuss. The subjective systematic assessment of how well a construct measurable component represent that construct. What are the major measurable components, like banking services? What are the major measurable components, like ambience of that bank, trustworthiness of their employees, then knowledgeability of that employee, their employees, punctuality and accuracy of documents, and helping nature of employees, sincerity of his staff. That's a lot of factors, maybe more. So that will make the measurable component. We'll collect that type of the component and we'll arrange that component in systematic way. This is the content validity. What is convergent validity? Convergent validity is mainly concerned with the same type of the construct. In same type of the construct, there should be a high correlation in same type of the construct. Suppose one construct is trustworthiness, another construct is knowledge of employees. Then same construct like same construct like trustworthy. Trustworthy is one construct. In same construct means trustworthiness, a number of variables are there like reliability, honesty, then loyalty, sincerity. These are the component of this construct, and there should be a high correlation. There should be high correlation in convergent validity. Convergent validity demonstrating that measurement correlates positively with the different measures of the same construct. What is difference between the convergent validity and discriminant validity? Discriminant validity, we have two type of the construct like trustworthy and knowledgeability. So then trustworthy and knowledgeability, there should be a difference, like this is the two different construct, and in these two different construct there should not be correlation. That should be discriminant. Then nomological validity. If we are going to evaluate same type of the construct with different type of the scaling method or different type of the research studies, the result should be same. This is the nomological type of the validity, evaluating how well one particular construct networks with other established network that are related with different. Same type of the construct is we are going to assess with different type of the studies or different type of the scales, then result should be same. This is the nomological type of the construct validity. Next slide we will discuss about the recap of whole study validity, content validity, and you can see here content validity is the subjective but systematic evaluation how well the content of the scales represent the measurement task at hand. We have discussed in detail in the previous slide. Creation validity reflects whether a scales perform as expected in relation to other variables selected. Criterion variables as meaningful. Criterion means what are the construct we have developed that should be in a meaningful ways we will arrange these things. In meaningful criteria we will arrange these things. Whatever the criteria we are using, that should be meaningful. Construct validity in detail we have discussed. So in next slide we will again recap about the next slide. Convergent validity we have discussed. Convergent validity, which convergent means with the same type of the construct there should be high correlation. Discriminant validity, same type of if there is different type of the construct, there should be discrimination. Discriminant means there should be discrimination. There should not be high correlation in different construct. And nomological validity means when you have a particular construct results, whatever you are getting in the same type of the scale, If you are using different type of the scale, that study's result should be same in same study or in different study. That result should be same. The nomological validity is the extent to which the scale correlates in theoretical predicted ways with measures of the different but related constants. This is all about this study. Thank you very much. We will discuss the next studies, next topics in next lecture. Thank you very much.